These earphones are another swing and a hit from JBL, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about these earphones today, I hope, because they're very similar to the JBL Tune Beam 2. So this is just a different fit, a slightly different version compared to that if you prefer the bud style design. So without further ado, thank you so much to the folk at JBL India for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own. So let's quickly jump into how this is built. Well, the unboxing should I say, is very typically JBL and to the point. You will get the earphones, of course, in the case, and this, as you can see, is a black variant. You do get this in different colors. Now, you also do get large ear tips and small ear tips within the box, and the mediums are already on the earphones. Then you also do get the literature and the cable as well, which comes in the typical JBL orange, which is a very nice touch. Moving on to the case and the earphones, well, this does have a very nice finish. I'm so glad that JBL has always stuck to this finish because it does stand the test of time. Scratches on this look like soft thumbnail scratches over time, and it doesn't really show age like a glossy case would. Then the overall design of this is much like the JBL Tune Beam, which is pretty neat. It does have the USB Type-C charging at the bottom over there, and you do see the Tune Buds 2 branding at the back where the hinge is, which is a very nice touch. And when you move on to the front, there's a much bigger section of the lip that you can open it compared to the previous generation of the Tune Beam and so on. And of course, when you pop the lid open, it is spring loaded, so it snaps open very quickly, and you will see the earphones as well. Now, these are of course the bud style design, and they do have the left and right marking on the earphones at the back, which is cool. And the section that has the JBL branding is a touch control area, and it does have the LED light that flashes on it. Now, it does go off when you sort of pair it with your device. Right now it is looking for my phone and my Bluetooth is off, which is why it's still sort of flashing. And then of course I really do like that they've included this little meshing on the inside of the ear tip, because this will prevent any dust or debris or earwax from going further into the metal grill, which can sort of find its way into the inner mechanism. So this is a good long-term design which should help prevent any sort of damage for the inner movements of the driver. And then comfort wise, I have found these pretty comfortable. The mediums usually fit me pretty well straight out of the box. This has been a comfortable fit, but I think this is a matter of who is going to wear these and what kind of style they want, because this of course is the bud style design, and JBL does offer two other form factors, which is the stem style and the flex style. This flex style is an open design, so that I think a lot of people will also appreciate. So it's cool that JBL does have all these different sort of fits that you can choose which will fit you the best. Moving on to the features really quick. Now, this is loaded with features and it's mainly in its app. Of course, this does have touch controls and all that sort of stuff, and it does work pretty well. I've not had any hiccups with JBL's touch controls in the recent past. So coming to the app, I'll throw it up on the screen right now. So you do get, of course, the battery levels for the case and the earphones as well. Now you do get your ANC options, and what's cool is you can control different levels of ANC, which is pretty neat. I really do like that they give you that much control. And then of course you do get your Ambient Aware. So this will feed in as much noise as you want, so you know what's going on around you. And the TalkThru mode is a feature that will drop the volume of your media. So no matter how much volume you give it or reduce it, it's not going to really affect the volume, because this prioritizes speaking to somebody near you, which is also a cool feature. And then smart audio video is it'll choose the best audio codec and the quickest latency response for video, or the best codec for audio. And then of course you do get gesture controls, which is cool. Now, it's cool that you can toggle between stuff, but one thing I have always noticed with JBL, I don't think they've changed this yet, is if you select, for example, customize ambient sound controls, and you click ambient sound control here, and over here you click playback control, you cannot control volume. So if you come here and click on volume control, you can't control playback. So you need to prioritize and see what it is you want for your personal experience. So you'll have to figure that out when you do get your earphones. Moving on to the audio, you do get the equalizer options you can play around with. Now, I have given a rundown as to how to tune your earphones the best you can for your own ears. I will leave that video link down below. It's a good way to sort of really fine tune your earphones so you find the best sound for yourself. Spatial audio is something I really want to touch on, because I've heard a whole bunch of earphones over the last many years. I've been doing YouTube and audio, and the thing is, the first time I've actually experienced good spatial sound on affordable earphones is with the JBL Tune Beam 2, and this is also no slouch. The Buds 2 also does a sensational job with spatial audio compared to some other things I've heard in the same price range. So if you're into spatial audio, you've got movie, music, gaming, whichever one you want to use. And then Personify is a pretty cool thing because you can, I mean, I would recommend you listen to this and do this setup in the still of the night. Put your fan off, put anything that's making a noise off, close your doors, make sure there's no traffic noise. Do that test for about, I think it's about 3 to 5 minutes long. It'll sort of give you a bespoke tuning for your ears. So it's the best way to make your earphones come alive. And then of course you do have left right sound balance, max volume limiter, which I've only really seen on JBL. So this caps the volume at about 85 dB, which is a good way to protect your ears in the long run, because if you listen to sounds above this for prolonged periods of time, you will shoot your hearing out. And then of course you do get a whole bunch of other stuff, sound settings and all this sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. This is mainly for calls. So let me do the test for you on a call demo, which I'll speak about soon. And then this is pretty cool, the relax mode. You can play different sort of modes, so it can help you relax. You can play one at minimum, or you can combine these and have the fader do what it has to do. And I mean, it's pretty cool that you can do that. If you don't want to listen to music to relax, Find My Buds will squawk these earphones. You can find them. You do get auto standby and all this sort of stuff. Let me put those on because it's a good way to preserve battery. And of course, this is your support option. Now coming right back to the ANC mode. Now the ANC is something that they have definitely worked on over the last generation for certain, because it's definitely a lot more isolating. It's able to cut out way more frequencies, I think, than the previous generation. So the previous generation, I remember, would let in a lot of upper mids to higher frequencies in. This seems to capture that as well and drop that noise down. So it does everything very well from lower frequency rumbles, mid frequencies and upper mids as well. So I'd say they've definitely done a good job. And a big reason why the ANC is able to do this. Now this is of course at the maximum ANC cutoff. You can tune that if maximum ANC is not comfortable for you. So why that's good is also because the previous gen, I think, did have only 4 microphones. That's 2 microphones per earphone. This, on the other hand, comes with 6. So it has about 6 microphones per earphone, which helps it, more data points, is able to do more stuff. And it's also got a hybrid ANC setup. So that does help with isolating the noise that much more. Another place where this does help you is with environmental noise cancelling. So if you do want to see how these perform in a busy setting, here's a quick demo to show you how your voice will sound carried over to your recipients. So I'm near the busy street where I do all of my call tests, and just to give you a sense of what these earphones are going to be battling. Now, there's a lot going on the main road. There's 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, some tractors, and you will get some trucks with pressure horns as well. So it does have a lot to battle, of course. So I have been on the camera microphone all this time just to give you the sense of the environment around me. And I will be switching over to the earphones, microphone right about now. So right now what I've done is I put it on the ANC mode. So one thing I'll do is I'll throw the screen up so you can see what I'm doing. Right now it is on the ANC mode, but as you can see, I cannot control the levels of ANC when you're on a call. Ambient Aware. Oh man, I don't want to put this off because these guys are blowing the pressure on. If I put it on Ambient Aware, I can control how much noise comes in or goes, how much noise comes in basically. TalkThru mode is not possible when you're on a call. Okay, so this is, if there was a shift in the audio, you'd be the best judge to see if that was the case. Then I'll go to audio. Now this is where it gets interesting because you do have sound level optimizer, which is pretty cool. You can put this on. This is for you because if you do have a caller, like it says, when the voice of the person you're calling sounds too loud or too low, the volume will be balanced to the optimal level. So this is for me right now. If you are talking to me and if your voice coming in is too loud, it will try and level it out, which is pretty cool. Then it has a sound setting as well here. It adjusts the tone of the voice of the person at the other end of the phone. So again, this is more for me. So these are the different options you get. And the voice setting, now this is for you. So you should be able to hear the differences. Adjust how your voice sounds to the person at the other end of the phone. So right now it's been on natural, and I'll switch over to powerful. So you should be able to detect maybe a little more kick or a little more lower frequencies that are coming through. And then you have bright. So it'll get a little brighter in the upper mid-range over here. You should be able to hear these differences. So it's pretty cool that you've got all of these options. Then you also do get the voice aware feature. I've only seen JBL do this. This is for the person who feels a bit weird or isolated when they put earphones on and they can't hear themselves. This does exactly that. So once I switch this on,
I can hear my voice feeding back to me. And I found that the Tune Beam 2 also did this very well, and so does this. It comes through like the best I've heard from what JBL has to offer so far. So it's almost like I'm having a conversation with myself. I can hear myself pretty clearly, pretty cleanly, and it's definitely a good option to have if this is something you want. If you don't want it, of course, just toggle it off. That's the easiest way to do it. So anyway, there you go. That's been the quick test for these earphones microphone in the worst kind of setting. It will definitely perform significantly better if you're in a more controlled environment like your office or at home. And I do hope that this demo has given you a better understanding for these earphones. You, of course, are the best judge. You are sitting in the reviewer seat right now to see the tonal quality shifts, if there were any. And of course, I will see you back at the studio.
This comes with 10 dynamic drivers and has a frequency response of 20 Hz all the way to 20,000 Hz and supports the SBC and AAC codecs. On a volume front, I found that this is comfortable for me at about 45-50% volume, but it really starts opening up at about maybe 55-60%. It's a lot more fun. It's a little more enthusiastic in the lower frequencies once you push past that 55 to 60% volume. Now, if you do start going above 70%, 75%, it starts getting a little too loud for me, but I would recommend having that maximum volume limiter on. It's a good way to protect your ears in the long run, because this can get loud if it goes beyond that, should I say, 75-80% mark. And then moving on to its imaging, well, this is no set of audiophile earphones for sure, but it's very good for casual listening. Even if you're an audiophile, it's JBL, I think, has come a very long way with its overall detail and quality. It's definitely a very fun sounding set of earphones. You are able to zone in or focus in on certain nuances in your music. It's definitely a fun listen when it comes to its overall detail recovery. And then when it comes to staging, it's much the same like most other wireless earphones. You can't expect too much from these. They don't breathe as much as, let's say, open back headphones would. It's kind of standard. I mean, expect the audio to be in a bubble within your head. There's not too much vertical stage, and I mean, it's got good left and right separation with a dead center phantom channel. That, however, can change when you are playing around with the spatial audio, because the spatial audio, the phantom channel tends to sort of expand a lot more. So your absolute dead center vocals tend to open up that way, and a lot of the instrumentation also does tend to open up a little bit wider out of your head. So the spatial audio tuning is done pretty well. I have actually enjoyed some spatial audio recordings through it. I think even for gaming, this is going to be a lot of fun, even if you are playing, on your phone, or if you hook it up to a gaming console. And then moving on to its highs, mids, and lows. Well, it's much like the Tune Beam 2. It's following some sort of Harman curve. And one thing that's very prominent with this, in fact, that I noticed is the lower frequencies. I'll get to that. Let me tell you about the high frequencies first. So the highs are elevated, certainly, to a certain extent. But JBL has always, I've noticed, over the last few years, they've been they do elevate the highs, yes, but they don't push it to the extent where it's going to cut through your ear. It's always very soft and supple in its overall delivery. It's not piercing. It is not aggressive. It cannot cause fatigue because it is not sort of boosted to hell in high water. The mid-range, however, does have a recess following some sort of Harman curve. It is a fun listen, yes. Like I mentioned, it's not going to be audiophile levels of, separation and that kind of level of detail, but it is a fun listen, no doubt. In fact, I'd say it's more suited to more enthusiastic music. So if you've got something with a lot of, sort of energy going on in the mid-range, a lot of guitar solos and all, it does very well over here. But there is a bit of a recess in the lower mids. So this can tend to give a sense of vocals thinning out to a certain extent. Moving on to the lower frequencies. Now, because of that lower frequency, because of that lower mid-frequency roll-off, the upper lows are not as accentuated. But where it does have a lot of kick is, I'd say, in the mid to lower bass. It's definitely quite enthusiastic there. Not that the upper bass doesn't exist, it's very much there, but it is, the first thing you'll notice is the fact that it wants to give you a lot more bass than you'd expect. So in fact, the first time I started listening to these, I was like, wow, this is certainly very bass prominent. And this is also something I felt with the Tune Beam 2 as well. That was the first thing that I noticed was the bass. It was, very sort of enthusiastic in that region. So I think they are definitely catering to a lot of people's taste, because a lot of people do like that. Now, having said that, there are a lot of brands out there that have very big and bloated bass where it's just too much rumble. So it's just too much going on in the lower frequency, so that tends to muddle up or muddy the mids. But they've tuned this very well, in the sense they've not accentuated it to the extent where it will be muddy in the mids or it won't eat up into the detail in the mids. So they've definitely balanced it out very well, and it's certainly a very fun listen. So I'd say, your heavier genres, EDM and all that kind of stuff, this is good fun to listen to for those specific genres, more so than things that are lighter like acoustic music or classical music and so on. So all in all, this is, I'd say, a pretty fun sounding set of earphones for a sound front. It's, I'd say, tuned for the masses. A lot of people are going to like this for certain. If you're interested in knowing how the call test is or how the microphone sounds for a recipient, head on over to the call chapter. I have marked it. It'll give you a better understanding for how your voice will carry over to your recipient. Of course, these are pretty good performers nowadays, and its features are absolutely loaded. So honestly, for the price you're getting this for, I'd say it's pretty good value for money, all in all. So if you are planning on buying this, I would also recommend considering watching my review on the Tune Beam 2, because that is a slightly different form factor. I myself have found for my ears, the Tune Beam 2 seems to fit a little more securely compared to the Tune Buds 2. Now, again, like I mentioned, it's a matter of fit. They also have something called the Tune Flex 2, which is an open style designer earphones, which is another set that I'm going to be reviewing any one of these days. This is an open style. It's definitely very nicely finished, very nicely done. And I love the fact that this also comes in a very tiny little case. It's a neat little thing. And this is what I like about it. JBL gives you the stem style design with a seal. They give you the open style like the Flex, and they give you the earbud style like the Tune Buds 2, which is absolutely amazing. So anyway, moving on to the price. If you do want to buy this, the set of Tune Buds 2, this does have, I forget the MRP, but you can buy it for about, I think I saw it for about 5,499 rupees worth, and I think that's a pretty good deal, especially considering the amount of features that you do get within the app. It's definitely a terrific value for money, of course. And if you do want to buy it, I will leave the links down below. But I will also leave the link to my review of the Tune Beam 2 if you want to watch that, as well as how to tune your earphones with the JBL app. It's actually a very capable EQ, despite it coming with the manufacturer's app. A lot of manufacturers usually don't have, manual tuning. They have a lot of presets. So it's pretty cool that they've given you all the options they can. So you should watch that video if you've got JBL earphones and you want to tune your earphones, or any earphones or IEMs for that matter. So anyway, there you have it. That's my overall hopefully quick review. I think I'm sitting at 15 or 20 minutes now, maybe hopefully shorter. But I do hope that this video has given you a better understanding for these earphones. And of course, if you would like to support this channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.